Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for joining us in another episode of today's Electrical Estimating. I'm your co host, Chris Trommer. And as always, I'm joined by our other co host, Sal Huerta.
Hello, everyone.
So, Sal, over the last 3 weeks and 3 episodes, we've had the privilege of speaking with Matt Firestone from Firestone Consulting Group. And we've gotten to go into some detail about his three pillars, what they do in working with electrical contractors and business owners. Pillars being people, processes, and profit. And he's done a great job explaining why these are important areas to look into and getting into some good detail for people to be able to have actionable insights. Today, we were actually wrapping this all up with Matt and talking about maybe what some people were wondering when they were listening to these episodes. Should I be reaching out to a consultant? Is this somebody that could benefit my business? Could this take me from where I am now to where I want to be in the future? As Matt's going to talk about, somebody that's working 80 hours a week and making the income they want, but could that person, if the right processes were put into place with the right people, could be working 40 hours a week? So he gives some great insight into who should be looking at consultants or thinking about talking to a consultant to see if it works for them.
It's always a good thing to bring in another set of eyes because, like you mentioned, if you're working 80 hours a week, you're focused on XYZ and you might be missing ABC. And so, having a consultant come in to look at your business, streamline things for you, possibly look at things differently than the way you might have not looked at them is always a
Mhm.
good thing to have.
Yeah, one thing he mentioned before when we were talking about people is you could be a monster in the field. You can go and run out a project by yourself or with two other guys, get it done quick and right and on time, but maybe you're just sort of lacking on the internal side of things, any of the admin paperwork or accounts payable, accounts receivable, things of that. So maybe that's taking you more time because you're really not, that's not your wheelhouse. So it's taking you a lot longer to handle that, where maybe bringing in somebody or looking at an outside company that can help you take some of that off your plate. So I really think he ties this all together for everybody listening so that they get an understanding of, maybe I should be reaching out to him or have a conversation to see if this is something that can benefit me moving forwards.
Yeah, that was a very good point because a consultant will come in and look at your overall business. And then, like you said, there are some places you're very strong at, there's some places that you're weak at. And at least a consultant can bring up some of these things that you might have not thought of before.
Well, Sal, always good talking to you. We'll let these people get into the episode, see if this is something they should be looking into in the future. So I'll catch up with you next week. Got to ask you, we have a lot of listeners on here, contractors primarily. What type of people are calling you? Or I guess, what stage or when should somebody be thinking about working with a consulting group like yours? Where are they at with their business? Maybe what thoughts might they be having? I know this is a very generalized question, but
Sure.
so that the people listening might be saying, maybe, this is interesting. Maybe I should be reaching out to them. Some people might not have even ever considered reaching out to a consultant. So, maybe some insight for them on your side.
For sure. And I would say it's not so much the stage they are in their business as it is, are they stuck with something? Are they stuck with the revenue? They haven't, been able to become profitable, that there's more of a pain point than there is, I'm just getting started. I'm 3 years into the business. I'm 30 years into the business. I would say if they feel that they're stagnant in where they are with their business, and that could be growth wise, maybe their goal was to get to where they're only working 50 hours a week and they've, worked 80 hours a week for the last 7 years. Finding that outside person to come in and help figure out, what is that bottleneck? Where do we need to change some things? Create the business around the lifestyle you want, not the lifestyle you have because of the business that you want. It's kind of flipping that model. We work a lot right now, and I think it's just kind of the times of where we are in the industry, of that maybe the first generation, second generation owner is now transitioning to the next generation. So working with the people development, making sure that they have that leadership mindset as they go into taking over the business, get out of the weeds a little bit more, learn to delegate, think big picture as opposed to the step by step, but then also help that first generation as to ease out of that role. So many people have an identity around the role they have in their business, and they feel that they're losing that identity. So we work with those transitions. But then it's also, if you are the chief everything officer, how can we help you become the chief executive officer and get rid of some of those hats, whether it's hiring the people or finding outside resources to provide some of those services, or maybe there's some technology that can streamline some of the processes. That's real. I would say, back to your original question, it's when you get to that pain point that says, man, I've got as far as I can with the knowledge, skills, resources I have. I'm ready to take this to the next level. And that's not always financially. It could be personally. That's where we can really come in and help people create that success.
Great to hear. No, that makes so much sense. The way you put it as being stagnant or static and, looking at where you're at now and saying, hey, I want to be all the way up here at 3 million. I'm stuck at 1 million. I'm rattling my brain. I'm stressed out. I can't figure out what switches I need to flick to get there. It sounds perfect. Reach out to you, get an outside perspective that can come in with the experience and expertise you have to say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what we got to do to get you where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, and the neat thing is everybody's story is different. I mean, I could take 3 different companies that are all at 3 million a year, want to get to 5 million, but they have different resources, different markets, different knowledge, different experience. So we try to create a custom or a tailored solution for each of those versus, hey, let me pull this book off the shelf. Here's our step-by-step guide to take you from 3 to 5 million. We try to work with each company and come up with a solution that's going to work for them and allow them to have the successes that they want to have.
More personalized,
instead
of when you see the online, I don't want to say gimmicks, but seems like it, where it says, hey, click on this, download this sheet, pay me $300 and you can get my book on how you can maximize your company. They're really investing in somebody that's going to come out there and take a look at them and say, okay, hey, this is what you have going on. We're going to work with this and move forwards with you. And not, like you said, just give you some manual that maybe works for 10% of the people that read it.
Exactly. And it kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning. I'm not an electrician by trade. So if I were to go out and start my electrical contracting business, that first hire is going to have to be the electrician. But if I were an electrician starting my own business, hey, maybe I don't like the paperwork, the estimating, the administrative side of it. I better start looking for someone that can handle that aspect of the business because they're both important. You need both of those, but it's really looking at what do I bring to the table or what does the company bring to the table and how do we support that to achieve the goals and successes that they're looking to achieve.
Well, Matt, how do our listeners get a hold of you? What is the easiest way for them to learn more and contact you folks?
So the easiest is going to be go to our website, real simple, firestonecg.com. So like Firestone Consulting Group, firestonecg.com. You can go there, it has our contact information. You can reach out to me directly via email. It is MDF, so just the letters MDF at firestonecg.com. And we would love to hear from any of you.
All right. Well, appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. Great perspective, understanding of things that, maybe we haven't touched upon or a different perspective of things we've discussed in the past. So thank you very much for your time.
You bet, Chris. I enjoyed it. Thank you.